Alright, it's going to be a quick video about me testing the Sigma 18 to 50 millimeter lens. But no, I'm not testing it on an APS-C body like what I have right now, an A6000. I'm going to test it on a full frame body and see if it is usable. But before we continue, if you're new to the channel, hi, my name is Nico. I create videos about camera gear, audio equipment, and desk setups. I'm not a professional photographer or videographer. I used to professionally edit at a podcast company, but all the opinion here on this channel is from a perspective of an everyday tech dad. If you're into those types of videos, then consider subscribing. Now back to this lens. If you're new to the channel, just a brief background, I've tested two APS-C lenses already for full frame bodies. And no, I don't test it on crop mode or APS-C mode. I test them on full frame mode. So I've tested the 10 to 18 millimeter Sony lens, and that's perfectly usable. Just zoom in to 12 millimeters and no vignettes whatsoever on full frame mode. Now for the Sigma 16 millimeters, you have to use active stabilization and then crop in a bit in post to get a usable image on video. For photos, the vignetting is bigger, so it's usable if you have a high megapixel camera like the A7R line or even the A7IV that has 33 megapixels and you're willing to crop in that much. Now for this lens, I'm going to test it on my A7S III if it is usable. And the reason why I want to find out is because this is an 18 to 50 focal range, which is a huge focal range, and the lens is so small. So if it is usable, then this can make your setup compact but have that wide range. So let's test it out. All right, so I'm using the Sigma 18 to 50 f2.8 lens here on my A7S III, and I'm using it with active steady shot on so that it crops in because there is really heavy vignetting. I'll show you what the vignetting looks like. So this is without that active steady shot, and when I turn it on, it reduces the vignetting, but it's still here. Right now we are at almost 20 millimeters because of the crop in active steady shot. So to make this usable, you need to crop in more in post. This is how much I'll crop in to erase these things. All right, so I don't know what the equivalent of this in millimeters right now, but I have to say this is more cropping than the Sigma 16 millimeter f1.4 that I tested before. Yeah, so this is how it looks like at 28 or 24. Still, still need to crop in a bit because it's a little bit heavy. So yeah. All right, so as we can see, the footage at 18 millimeter has a bigger vignetting than the Sigma 16 millimeters. So you need to crop in more in post, I think, than the Sigma 16 millimeters. I don't know what the focal length you're getting out of that once you do all the cropping. I'll put it here. And if you're asking why am I testing it just on the wide end and not on the telephoto end, that's because if I'm going to bring this and I'm going to use the telephoto side of things, then I'd rather just use crop mode since I want more reach on the telephoto end. Now just for reference, an 18 millimeter focal length on an APS-C like crop mode is around 28 to 29 millimeters. That's why when testing these things, I am just interested on the wide end because that's what you don't get in crop mode or APS-C mode. So I'm mainly interested actually in 18 millimeters of this lens, and as you can see, it is usable, but you won't definitely get 18 millimeters. It's more of this. All right, so that is my test. For my recommendation, I don't think I will buy this lens for my full frame cameras. The vignetting is just too big. I'd rather get a full frame lens that has that focal range like a 20 to 40 millimeters Tamron, which I already own. So that's a quick video for today. If you are interested in videos about camera gear, audio equipment, desk setups, please check out my other videos here.